Hello guys, it's me Simo Orohara, and in this video we will discuss the events that came in the new episode of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc. And to be honest with you, there are things I liked in this episode and there are things I didn't like, and I will discuss them with you with all credibility. Because I said this years ago, before the anime came, I don't care about the level of animation. What I care more about is the writing and the story itself, because the final arc biggest problem is the rushed events. That's why I was waiting for the anime to come and solve this problem and not aggravate it. It is true, it's still too early to think about this issue of whether the studio succeeded in adapting the events or not, and for that logical cause I say that I hope the studio is doing this for the better of the anime, especially since Kobo is also involved with them, and that he said that he added some new things and that the studio will adapt everything. So guys, as for the opening, I will make a special video about it because it has a lot of spoilers. That's why I will review the events of the episode, starting with the things that I liked. So the episode's title was Foundation Stones, which is the same as the title of chapter 485. The previous episode was titled Blood Warfare, which is the same as the title of chapter 480. And the beginning of the episode was one of the things that I really liked. Yhwach's voice actor gave an extra prestige to his character. The way he was speaking made the heart of Ludus almost die of fear. And the line I like the most is this. This shows how brutal Yhwach is. Simply, if you're not intended to stand up and give me your report, then this means you don't need your feet. I will remove them. What a personality. I also like the features of the fear that Ibarn showed as he watched the fate of his colleague Ludus, the poor one, as if he was saying, am I next? The Ludus will tell Yhwach what he has told Yamamoto, that the war will begin in 5 days, and here Yhwach will speak frankly strange words, so that he said, are you Ludus? A prophet? Because Ludus was talking about future things like that the war would take place in 5 days. And also Ludus had previously told Yhwach that if this level of intensity continues like this, then the world of the Soul Society and the real world will overlap with each other. And by the way, we saw its effects at the beginning of chapter 481. And I don't know why it was deleted. The scene of Yuri seeing the crack that appeared on the wall and how she started to smell the Shinigami. For all of this, Yhwach didn't like how Ludus talks about this distance feature and forgets to talk about the present that he wants to hear. That's why I said it is strange for Yhwach to say this, because as some know, the feature has a great connection with Yhwach. Then Yhwach will kill both Ludus and Ibarn. And by the way, the one who spoke with Yhwach, I think it might be either Askin Naklovar or Robert. So he spoke with Yhwach that killing Arankara may lead to a shortage of soldiers, especially since they are already soldiers who don't need any kind of training. Then we will see Yhwach does not care about this, because he already had the Queen of Wikomondo, and as you can see we saw her in present. And here is where one of the most important additions from the studio happened. Officially it was confirmed that the one who defeated Harribel was Yhwach, and there was a fight between them. These scenes we didn't see them in the manga, so that we saw that Yhwach was advancing with his army using one of his powers. On the other hand, we saw Harribel was seriously injured. The position she was in and the effects of her crashing into the wall, all of these things show how devastating the fighting was. Then we saw also Don Chaka and Peshe, and with them Neil. Harribel told them to run away, and that's what they did, but Don Chaka was captured, while Neil decided to seek help from Ichigo by heading to the real world. In the real world, where we'll see Yuki receiving the news of Sasaki's death. Of course, here we'll come to one of the scenes that were deleted, which is this page. After everyone has gone, Ichigo decided to go outside, and while he was wandering around, he started to remember Yuryu's words to him. Yuryu told him that it was out of the question that the Gute 13 would send that detailed report about Sasaki's death to an ordinary officer like Yuki. No doubt they sent it to him because they know what happened to you and he is with you, and so all you have to do now is prepare yourself for any contact from them. Maybe these scenes are not important, but explains why the Shinigami sent that urgent message to Yuki. Then we saw the coming of Neil and Peishi and how they asked for help from Ichigo. That's why Ichigo decided to gather everyone to discuss this matter, and here there is a puzzle. The meeting was attended by Shadow, Inoue, as well as Yuryu, and before that we watched a scene of Yuryu meditating on the Quincy Cross, and before that, in one of the trailers before the anime was released, we watched a dialogue between Yuryu and Ryukin about the Quincy. That's why I'm wondering, did Yuryu come to the meeting after that dialogue took place between him and his father? Or will that dialogue take place after this meeting, especially since Yuryu showed some indications that he might know who the enemy is when he was about to say to Ichigo something about them before Orohara Kiski intervenes. I really missed his voice, so we'll come back Orohara Kiski. And by the way the team was going through the Garganta, it seemed to me a little bit weird, or just because I'm not used to the new changes that they made. Whatever, Ichigo and the rest have found that the Wikomondo were really in a state of destruction. A lot of Arankara were killed, and some of them were captured, and the Wikomondo was totally at the hands of the Quincy. And here we will see the first appearance of Kiryu. Frankly, one of the characters that I love the most among the Quincy characters, and the voice actor was creative in embodying his character. Kiryu, like Yhwach, didn't show any mercy in how he deals with the Arankara. The test to choose the new soldiers was brutal, and actually I find that Yhwach and Kiryu are the stars of this episode. And as we said, when the Quincy invaded the Wikomondo, they have killed a lot of Arankara and captured Harribel and also some other Arankaras, and among them Loli and Minoli, so that we saw how they tried to confront Kiryu, but the latter simply defeated them. Then we watched the first appearance of the followers of Harribel. Frankly, I liked their intervention, especially when Kiryu was watching their fight with his followers. It was an expressive scene that increased my admiration for Kiryu. But their fate was the same as that of Loli and Minoli, the defeat that Ichigo witnessed, so that the episode ended with the beginning of the fight of Kiryu and Ichigo Kurosaki. Now we come to the things I didn't like about the episode. Personally, the thing that I was waiting for the most is to see Sasakibe's funeral and how it will be adapted in the anime. As soon as I saw the first scene of the drumming, I was happy. I said, wow, we're gonna see it. But the opposite happened. We saw the drumming scene and some scenes of the captains and then a scene of the old man, and then he says, set the fires. While in the manga there was an important joke by Byakuya when he was talking about Sasakibe. It is true that the information that Byakuya spoke may be added later in Yamamoto's fight with Driscoll, but for Sasakibe's funeral to be shortened in this way, I honestly didn't like it. Therefore, if there will be a compensation for this in the latter events when Yamamoto will confront Sasakibe's killer, I may accept it, but the deletion of those pages, especially Byakuya's words about the old man's grief, is something I didn't like. The same thing with the appearance of Harribel. Harribel is not an ordinary character to be appeared that way. Compare his appearance in the manga with his appearance in the anime, or just compare the first appearance of Elikiura with the first appearance of Harribel. In addition, some of the conversations between Yhwach and Harribel were deleted, so that they were talking about finding another way to approach Ichigo, and there where Yhwach said to Harribel that he should contact Kiryu. I mean, as you can see, they added something important and good, which is clips from the fighting of Harribel and Yhwach, but they deleted some important things, and I previously spoke about that in this tweet of mine. I really wish they didn't specify a specific number of episodes, or the adaptation rate is at least 3 chapters per episode, so that some important event can take its full time. As for this rate, 4 chapters with some deleted scenes, it's really not good, and I'm really afraid of the course of the event. Kobo has promised us that he will add some things new, and I hope this really happens, and I hope these changes or deletions are for the sake of important things in the future episodes. In general, I say the episode above average. So what about you guys? Tell me your comments, your opinions, and see you in my next video.